Hey everyone, last turn of January 1944, and it's the U.S. shopping bonanza. $2 for a tech roll, $11 for a jet fighter for Eastern USA. Everything else here going to Japan. Another heavy strategic, two more jet fighters, two more destroyers, another transport, another elite marine, and finishing the airbase. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this tech roll. It's our last one we need, 7 or higher, wartime economy. So let's roll it and see what we can get. We got it. That's a victory point for the USA. They got wartime economy, and that's more money they'll get to spend next turn. And I believe they just got another victory point here. So we will do that and that. All right, I'll come back with my combat moves. Okay, let's talk about combat moves. First, we're running out of time. Including this turn, we got 4 turns left. So the U.S. thinks the best thing it can do is go ahead and move the rest of its Navy here into the Med, including supported by these new ships that we just picked up down here in Brazil. Go ahead and move into here. Go ahead and take out Tripoli, Tunis, and maybe Tripoli along with it. Take a buck or two off the Italians and put some serious pressure over here on Cairo. And maybe, just maybe, you can help the UK get Cairo back by the end of this game. Maybe. I just think Rome itself, with Italy or with Germany building a bunch of stuff and sending it down, I just think there's no way the U.S. can take out Rome. But remember, we got this stuff coming in too, so we might be able to make a last-ditch effort at Rome if our Navy and our transports survive in here, which I have serious questions about whether they will. But if I can go ahead and get this stuff right here, which is currently in Gibraltar, onto the African continent, here, it can stay there the rest of the game and make a run at Cairo, which is a victory point, I believe, for the UK or something like that. Anyway, I think that's about the best we can do as the US. So, that said, my cruiser down here and my torpedo boat destroyer are both at a naval base. So the torpedo boat destroyer will go 1, 2, 3 into here. Like that. It'll be joined by this cruiser. It'll be joined by this transport and 2 infantry. Let me go ahead and ship that Brazilian infantry out. Let's see. Like that. These 2 infantry, let's say they go ahead and land in Tripoli. So they go ahead and take that. So that's Italy down 1. And that's the U.S. up 1. Let's go ahead and put an American piece of pie on there. I had to order more American markers from Doug this week too, because America's doing relatively well in this game. And actually, you know what? Technically, that doesn't happen until this guy is cleared out, but I'm just assuming that's going to happen. So, let's go ahead and move the undamaged battleship into here, like that. I'm thinking about keeping this guy out, just in case, because I need to have a capital ship in there by the end of the game to try to deny Italy a victory point, or to get a victory point for, well, it has to be the UK. So let's keep this one out. Or you know what, we might as well move it in, because the US doesn't get a victory point for capital ships. It can only deny a victory point to Italy. So let's go ahead and move it in, like that. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go on all of these transports. We'll go ahead and come in. again, I could lose all this Navy and these transports, but the point is to get these units on the African continent. So we'll definitely land 2 Marines here in Tunis to help take that out. But frankly, I want to get most of my stuff into Tripoli. So, you know what? I could take Sardinia with one of the infantry uncontested. So let's do that. And let's deny another victory point. So that's Italy down 1 more. Not a victory point, but an IPP. US up 1 more. So I think I'm officially out of the cool US markers. So I'll just switch one over here in Brazil. Put that one right there. Like that. And then I'll definitely land the 2 artillery here. And then I've got another infantry, which I will land here. Another Marine, which I will land there. And I think 2 Marines is good enough right here, so I'll land the other Marine here in Tripoli as well. Like that. This tactical will go 1, 2, and he'll have 3 left because the US has long range aircraft. Like that. And then it's a little speculative, but these 2 are going to go these 2 heavy bombers are going to go 1, 2, 3 and hit this major factory, even though I'm likely to lose at least 1 and could lose both. I want to try to hit that again. And what else are these heavy bombers going to do? Italy already has developed a strategy of AA guns, supported by probably German Lend-Lease. So the carpet bombing has been reduced. I mean, I could have carpet bombed this guy, of course, but I'd rather take another run at that factory. I got to reduce Italy's ability to produce units. So there's how all of that stands, and I can go ahead and take this off like that. So those are all of my combat moves over in the Med. So then let's go over here and take a look at what's going on over here. So, actually this might be a better angle. How about this angle? Like that. Yeah, that works. So I've got this Anzac fleet protecting me from the main Japanese fleet. And so here's the thing. I cannot bomb this factory this turn. This factory is too far away. Once my jet fighters get over here and once I finish this air base, then I'm all in on that major factory next turn. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and take out all these blockers. Primarily not because they're blocking, but because they are 4 naval units that could converge on the Anzac fleet and then my fleet as well. So I want to take those 4 units out as best that I can. So, although this one, I guess now I realize they can definitely use the kamikazes and they can also scramble if I attack that one. So that one will be my lowest priority. So up here, this destroyer can go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Attack that guy. Supported by this tactical bomber. And he will have 3 left on his fuel tank. Right there. The sub here, there's a fighter here on Combat Air Patrol. There's a fighter on a carrier on this card. It's going to move 1, go on Combat Air Patrol, and that will allow the fighter and this tactical to shoot at that sub. So there's Combat Air Patrol. They'll both have 4 left in their fuel tank. Like that. Let's see. They can scramble up to 3 aircraft, right? And they can use the kamikazes. Maybe I should leave him alone. Probably should leave him alone. And this guy right here, I definitely want to go in with the coastal sub on that guy. Try to get a lucky first strike on that cruiser. I think I should leave this guy here as a blocker, though. Do I have anybody else I can send out as a blocker? That's the problem, I don't. I'm really light on units over here. So, don't need this guy here anymore. So, he can't reach, though. My Iowa class can't reach either. Could my light cruiser here reach? He could go 1, 2, 3. He could reach. And then I really don't need this guy here anymore as a blocker, so he could go back onto that fleet card in non-combat. And I can send this light cruiser 1, 2, 3 there to support that assault there on that cruiser. Okay, I could even move this light cruiser 1, 2, 3 here as a blocker, also along with that sub. So, and then, because these guys aren't doing anything else, we may as well send them to carpet bomb. Hang on, could they go 1, 2, 3? No, they can't really hit anything up here. Interesting choices. Should I be hitting Kurile Islands with an amphibious assault? Is a question that I just had. Because I can amphibious assault with all this stuff. And I would be... No, because I'd be in range... My Navy here would be in range of these planes. So no, I think the answer is no. So we'll just go ahead and do a massive carpet bomb of this guy. And they'll both move back to Bonin Islands. Okay, that's it. So let's go ahead and do this stuff over here. You know, I'll move some of these to the battle board just for fun. So let me move this one to the battle board. Okay, U.S. coastal sub with first strike, light cruiser versus a Japanese heavy cruiser. So, first strike, actually it's first strike at 2 or less. First strike at 2 or less. Oh, misses. Light cruiser at 5 or less. And it hits. So the heavy cruiser shoots back at a 6. that's also a hit. And the question I have now is, can I take the hit on my coastal sub? I think I can, because I've shot with my coastal sub. So we will do that. And I've been playing it that way all game. So we're taking out another decent sized unit there, and we've got a blocker there in a form of a light cruiser. So now let's go ahead and do this one. And I'm not going to move this one to the battle board because this will just be a 6 and a 7 trying to shoot that sub. So I will roll that. And both hit. So this sub has been destroyed and cannot shoot back. I decided not to target this guy because of the kamikazes. So let's go ahead and do this one. And also on this one, I can go ahead and bring this fighter in from this carrier off of Midway. So we might as well do that, just to increase our odds. So let me go ahead and roll that. And that's a 4 or less first. And that's a hit. So let's see if the Japanese can hit me back. And he does. So those will both cancel each other out. Okay. And that is all my combat over here. And I've eliminated 3 more Japanese ships at the cost of only 1. Actually 2 ships. So I'll take that because I lost a coastal sub. They lost a cruiser, a sub, and a destroyer. And I lost a coastal sub and a destroyer. So let's go ahead and do this one now. And I'll go ahead and shoot for the 2 Marines and the tactical first. And I got the hit I needed. And the Italian will shoot back at 4 or less. He also hits. But that was an amphibious assault, so he can take both casualties. And that means Italy's down 1 and France is up 1. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do this naval battle first. Oops. Let's hope we do that. So, torpedo boat destroyer at 2 or less. He misses. Cruiser at 6 or less. Hits. Destroyer back at 4 or less. Misses. So no harm, no foul there in terms of the order. Now, last but not least, we've got this raid up here. And Italy will be scrambling all 3 fighters. So both of those fighters will get all 3 of those fighters will get interception rolls at 3 or less. Let's go ahead and do those first. Oh my gosh, we got 2 hits. Now, those heavy bombers do get interception rolls of 2 or less. Yep, 2 or less to shoot back at those fighters. And they both missed. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So we just lost both of those heavy strategic bombers, but I didn't know what else to do. And I felt like I had to try. And I thought maybe I could get one of those Italian planes as well. So, not so hot there for the Americans. Okay, that's it for my combat moves. So let me think about non-combat and come back. Okay, first of all, these 2 destroyers will go here. These 2 transports will go here. And this destroyer will come back here as well. This jet fighter will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which he can do because he's at an airbase. And that's all I can do on this side of the board. There's where things stand here, by the way. U.S. has got a lot of units, but they're all slow movers. And they got a decent-sized Navy here, but it's definitely at risk. So I think what will happen here is Italy will probably be able to deal with the Americans, but just barely, is my guess. But we'll have to see. Italy is going to have to spend money to fix those battleships and maybe place a new one and some other naval stuff next turn just to make sure they don't get wiped out. Oh, and I forgot about a non-combat move, clearly. This guy goes back to here. Like that. Okay, so over here... I forgot to do this carpet bombing, so let's do 5 of those. All we need is a 2. Those all missed. 5 more. And we got it. So that militia dies. These guys both fly back to Bonin. Like that. These jet fighters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're at an airbase, so let me make sure they had enough range to do that. Yeah, we got long-range aircraft. And they're at an airbase, so they could both just make it to Bonin Islands, which is getting really crowded. This transport goes 1, 2, and lands these 2 Marines here. These 2 transports go 1, 2 onto that fleet card. And they take these 4 elite Marines. Okay, that airbase gets built this turn, by the way, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. U.S. now has 7 ground units here with 4 transports. 4 more ground units here with 1 transport, but that's at a naval base. That's 9 ground units we can get into Tokyo or Sapporo next turn. So that's not too bad. These 2 guys fly back onto the carrier here at Midway. This guy, as I said, goes back onto that fleet card. This Iowa class may as well go 1, or do I want to be fun and go 1, 2, 3 and have him go in here and join this Navy? Actually, you know what? He'll go onto this card, and then what I will do is I'll actually send the cruiser and the light cruiser from that fleet card into here, just to make this Anzac Navy a little tougher. These 2 guys will fly back onto the carrier on that fleet card right there. And then, actually, this light cruiser will stay back here. I got chickened about that a little bit. But I will send that cruiser in there, just to toughen them up a little bit. And actually, this guy will now, since I got a blocker here, this guy will move into here to serve as a blocker there. Or should I move him into here? No, yeah, he needs to go here. I'm still a little unclear about whether subs can serve as blockers or not, so now we've definitely got a blocker into here. Okay, let's go ahead and place units. I already placed the airbase, which I showed you. I'll go ahead and place my only unit that's going over here. And actually, you know what? Now that I lost my heavy bombers here, No, you know what? I'll put a jet fighter over here. Right there. And then everything else is going to get built over here. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I got enough capacity. So I've got 3 ships which are going on the board. Let's say this guy right here builds those 3 at this shipyard. So there's 1, 2, 3, like that. And then the Elite Marine will get built here. And then 2 jet fighters and another heavy bomber will also get built right there. Like that. Okay, now the good part. Let's collect income. So US is sitting on $67. And they have 12 in bonuses, so that's 79. Plus they get 2d6 in bonus income. So 79 plus 8 is $87. Not bad for the US. $20, $40, $60, $85, $6, and $7 for the US. That's the end of January 1944. This is Admiral Seabass signing off.